Senator van Turnhout.
Thank you very much. Minister, you're very welcome to the House, and thank you for your cooperation in helping us bring this bill to the House. I'd also like to extend a welcome to our visitors in the gallery from the Adoption Rights Alliance and Dr. Fergus Ryan. I wish to thank Senator Avril Power for her tremendous work initiating the bill, and to Senator Healy Eames for joining with us and bringing this forward today. Special thanks also to Dr. Fergus Ryan, who drafted the bill. Thank you also to so many of my colleagues who have spoken with me over the past 2 weeks and shared their own personal stories of why they support this bill, which shows how it reaches into every household in Ireland. I feel very strongly about the bill, and it's a real honour for me to second it in the House today. My intervention will focus on a critical component, which is all too readily brushed aside, diminished or dismissed, and this is the right to identity. In 1976, Alex Haley, author of Roots, articulated what so many adoptive people in Ireland have described to me over the years when he said, and I quote, "In all of us there is a hunger, marrow deep, to know our heritage, to know who we are and where we have come from. Without this enriching knowledge, there is a hollow yearning and the most disquieting loneliness." End of quote. The right to know who you are is so fundamental, so necessary, and so basic. Its absence can be a source of considerable pain and anguish. Its absence, where the necessary information exists but is being withheld, can leave people with a feeling of deep injury and injustice. By focusing on the right to identity, I in no way wish to undermine or diminish the identity that an adopted person has developed in their life with their adoptive parents and families. There are many adoptive people who have no desire whatsoever to access their birth information. However, there are many for whom the information is a burning need. I have spoken in this House on several occasions about forced and illegal adoptions. All too often, we have cloaked adoption in secrecy. And as a society, we have been complicit in suppressing women, their children, and their respective rights. A startling figure by Claire McGettrick of the Adoption Rights Alliance, that in 1967, a staggering 97% of all children born outside marriage were adopted, typifies this. 97%. We cannot allow our shameful past, our fear that further shames may be exposed, justify the perpetuation of a shameful practice against at least 50,000 people in Ireland. And yet we do. That is why this bill is so necessary, so important, and indeed so overdue. We need to fundamentally reconsider how we approach adoption in Ireland. Our current system of closed adoptions, which automatically extinguishes a child's and then adult's right to their identity, will ideally be changed to an open system where their biological and adoptive families have access to varying degrees of each other's personal information and have an option of contact from the outset. In the meantime, this bill will ensure, however retrospectively, the adoptive person's right to identity. We are here on the eve of the 25th anniversary of the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child. How fitting it will be if we can give life to the Convention's express recognition of a child's right to know and preserve his or her identity. This has been the law in Scotland since 1930 and in England and Wales since the mid-70s, with no dire consequences or legal wrangling over rights to privacy. According to the Supreme Court in IOT and B, an adoptee's right to their identity is not absolute and is subject, in particular, to the right to privacy of the natural parent. And we've heard a lot about this in the last 24 hours. However, it also pointed out that the right to privacy does not automatically trump the right to identity. The court stated that the two rights must be balanced against each other. It is clear from Supreme Court decisions such as Toohey and Courtney that the precise balance to be struck is a matter for the Oireachtas to determine. This bill achieves that balance in a way that is sensitive to the needs of all parties. We must let in the light. We must start now in a new era of openness and understanding. We should not stand in judgment, and I believe that this bill strikes the balance, mooted by the Supreme Court, as longed for by so many adoptive people, their families and their friends. So let's do it. Let's do this now. Thank you.
Senator Burke.
Thank you very much. Welcome, Minister, to the House. Could I thank the senators for bringing forward this bill in particular.